Married at First Sight, season 14, and this is the reunion part 1. And I got time today, y'all, so I'm doing separate videos for each couple. So at the end of this video, there's going to be a link here above my head, and you can click on the next video. So first of all, we're going to talk about Jasmina and Michael. I sure hope there aren't people out there still saying Jasmina just wasn't attracted to Michael. I don't know what you guys are going to have to see before you realize this is not a physical attraction issue with Jasmina. And this is why some of you probably are confused out here, because you keep thinking it's a physical attraction thing and then stuff doesn't make sense to you. That's because you're chewing on the wrong bone. Jasmina is a 14-year-old girl. She is not a mature woman in a relationship. So the way that she sees things are through the eyes of a 14-year-old. This is why you confused. Did y'all see how Jasmina was darn near sitting in Michael's lap? Did you see her body language? Did you see how she wanted to curl up underneath him? Did you see all that? That's not the body language of a girl who's not attracted to a man. I kept telling you all this all season long, and this reunion has proved it even further. Jasmina is and has always been awkward in relationships, but she speaks from a position as if she knows everything. You ever talk to a person and they're talking all confidently and like they know everything, but then you really start listening to them and you realize they don't even know what they're talking about. Do y'all remember that scene where Jasmina was trying to teach Michael how to communicate? She called herself trying to teach Michael how to communicate, and she kept saying, well, you just talk. And we kept saying, well, Jasmina, he is talking. This is the way you communicate. But she thought she was a full-on authority. That's Jasmina. Jasmina talks as if she's a grown 30-year-old woman in a relationship, but she's not. She's really 14. I'm going to go over lots of points where Jasmina is a 14-year-old. First of all, we're going to dial it back to this whole aggressive conversation she called Michael. That ended up being the death of her. Just like I told y'all from the whole season. When she went there on Michael, it was hard for him to come back from that. And that's what we learned. We learned that once she went there on him with that aggressive label on him, he went so far deep in the hole for a whole month. And then she sat up there and was mad because he didn't want to talk to her for a whole month. But she had no idea how big of an impact those words has. And that's from a 14-year-old, because you know what? She sat up there and tried to tell us, well, everybody talks about a black man being called aggressive. Well, I'm a black woman. That's why you should have understood it even more, Jasmina, because you're a black woman. You should have understood the implication of calling a black man on national TV aggressive, because you might not have liked the way he talked to you, or you might not have liked the words he was saying. This is from a 14-year-old girl, because she's never been in a relationship. She's probably never been in a real argument with a husband or a man in person, because as we know, all her relationships are long distance over the phone. So maybe to her it was aggressive. But the fact that she didn't understand the implication of that and how it would affect that man further tells me she's a 14-year-old. Because that's what young teenagers do. They don't know the consequences of their actions. That's what makes them children. That's why you can't try them as adults. That's why you can't punish them like adults. Because up here, they're 14 years old. Even though what they do looks like some grown shit, they're 14. And that's Jasmina. Jasmina didn't understand that labeling of Michael aggressive early in their relationship turned him all the way off. And then what she got mad at that he wasn't attracted to her in the beginning. I told y'all, Michael said, I ain't putting no moves on her. I'm not going to be accused of some things I didn't do. This is why men don't even let little girls sit on their lap. This is why black men have to protect themselves out here, because listen, when a black man gets falsely accused, they got a lot to protect. And what Michael said was, if she's willing to call me this 1 week in the relationship, and we've only had maybe a couple of arguments at this time, how far is this girl willing to go? And you know what Michael did? He dialed that shit back. Jasmina is a 14-year-old. All this business about her saying I tried after we separated. First of all, when you went to separate apartments, I already knew that was some little girl stuff. Jasmina has a problem being attached to people. Jasmina didn't want to live with Michael, not because of physical attraction. I'm telling you, she's awkward, she's scared, and she's scared and awkward around men. She needed some distance. But then what she thought she was going to do, she thought she was going to pull that same old stuff she normally does and have a phone relationship with her damn husband. I texted you every day. Well, guess what, Jasmina? If I don't pay my cable bill, they gonna call me every day too. That don't mean I'm in a relationship with them. Jasmina thought texting Michael every day was a relationship, and that meant she was trying. 14-year-old shit when you sit in your room and you talk on the phone with your boyfriend while your parents is in the other room. That's the 14-year-old stuff. Any grown person, a woman, 30 years old, would know that if your man is in the same city as you, you're going to need to do more than text. But once again, Jasmina ain't even got a driver's license. She can't go nowhere. Talking about Michael only wanted to come see her once. Well, if you had a car and if you had a driver's license, you could have gone to his house. You remember that house, Jasmina, the one you were so mad at that he had 2 roommates? You could have gone there. You could have met up with him. But because you're 14 years old without a driver's license, you sitting around waiting for your 16-year-old boyfriend to come pick you up. A child. Michael was in a relationship with a 14-year-old, and I know he's happy he got the hell out. And then the 14-year-old decides, well, maybe we can be friends. We can be friends first. And Michael said, it don't take that long to be friends. And Jasmina says, well, that's just because you're used to going on physical attraction. There go a 14-year-old. Every 30-year-old woman knows that the first attraction to a woman for a man is physical. So what you talking about, Jasmina? You ain't telling us nothing new. Of course, a lot of men's first attraction to a woman is physical. But you would know that if you're a 30-year-old woman that's been out here dating. But if you're 14 years old, you wouldn't know it. Even when they're talking about this big fight they had, and then when Michael finally called her and said, you know what, this ain't working for me. This ain't what I want. I'm not getting anything out of it. And Jasmina was upset of the fight, and she threw the relationship away just that fast. And what Michael was saying was, even in that final moment, she didn't put up any fight for it. Because what Jasmina wants is Jasmina doesn't want to risk anything about herself. She wants Michael to do all the coming to her. She told me when I came in with receipts of all my phone calls. Girls, that's not receipts. That is not receipts. Receipts that you texted your husband, that's not no receipts. She said, well, you know what? And even you should have shown me that you wanted me more. Even that man sitting up there, I forget the man that hosted it. Horrible, 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 horrible. Telling Michael that he should continue to chase Jasmina when Jasmina doesn't put forth any type of effort because she's a scared little girl, and they think that Michael needs to continually do all the heavy lifting. Absolutely not. I am so happy Michael finally got out of this relationship, and to be honest with you, I thought this is what was going to happen on decision day. I already knew that Jasmina was going to say yes on decision day because she was perfectly fine going along with the relationship with this distance between them, texting from miles away, him coming to her not having to do anything, Michael having to do all the work. That is the relationship that Jasmina is comfortable with. This is why she's always dated men that lived out of state, because Jasmina is afraid of closeness and intimacy. She's afraid of it, and she makes up excuses to keep this big space between her and men. It's what she does. She actually needs to go to therapy. I might be coming off on this video like I'm mad at Jasmina, but I actually feel sorry for Jasmina. But here's the part. Jasmina needs to wake up. She needs to stop thinking it's men, and she needs to go and work through some of these intimacy problems that she has with a therapist, because she's got big problems. She is emotionally immature in relationships. More than emotionally, she is stunted. Her problem with Michael has never been physical attraction. And let me tell you, Jasmina is very, says what she thinks. If Jasmina didn't physically like Michael and she thought Michael was ugly, Jasmina could be Alyssa 2.0. She would have explicitly said, I don't like the way he looks. Jasmina has never ever said that she did not like the way Michael looked. She's never talked about his height or anything. I am telling you, it is, and it has always been an issue right here with Jasmina. It has always been an issue in her head. And that's why she needs to go to therapy, because her problems have nothing to do with physical attraction with Michael. It's all here. And you know what? I'm actually glad these two broke up, because Jasmina would do damage on a man. She would make a man keep thinking it really was him and the actual problem lies with Jasmina. She's very good at fooling people. She fooled Pastor Cal. She fooled all these experts because she presents well and she speaks as if she really knows what she's talking about. But when you watch the moves she makes, when you watch the things she does, you realize she talks a good game, but her actions don't match. I'm glad these two broke up and they need to go on their separate ways. It's an epic fail, though. It really is. It could have had so much potential in one way, but the other way, she needs a lot of work. Anyway, watch my other videos on the next couple, y'all. See the link right here. Talk to you later. Bye.